The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
Hey everyone, how's it going? A little late, but better late than never. I am Allison McClone of Alikat Comics, and I'm here to do some arting. Hope everyone's having a great day. I may or may not have just gotten out of the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, which I remember seeing in the theaters 40 years ago and makes me feel old. But yes, other than that, it was a great day, really fun movie. Some point I need to get something to eat, though. That's not the nachos I had at the movie theater. But before I get started with the drawing, I wanted to kind of talk about a few things, kind of look over a few things. I got some mail this week, so I want to do an unboxing. Got this on Wednesday from little company in New Hampshire called Alterna. Figure we will take a look. See what came inside. Okay. It is very nicely packaged, which I'm not surprised about since it's done by the great Peter Samiti. So we have the box, and now I have the envelope. We have a pull string. Gotta be careful with some of this stuff because Hobbs may try to eat it. Alright, so what do we get? What do we get? Hey, friend. How's it going? Alright, so we got a bunch of stuff in here. Got a cat already trying to go for the envelope because he wants to chew on things. Because Hobbs is dumb. Very dumb. But I love him. Okay, so we will start with a print. And this is, I think that's the only one in here, right? I have a hard time because of my fingers, but this is a, oh, there are some other stuff in here. Okay, so it's like we got some bookmarks and a print. This is King Cryptid by Alterna Comics. And I supported them on Indiegogo, like, I think last summer. So we got a few of those. And then we got the King Cryptid print. I forget what the level was I backed at, but as I said, Peter's a friend of mine. I mod his channel sometimes, so it's all fun. We got King Cryptid number 1. And this is beyond jam-packed. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we get beware creature spotted in the White Mountains, approximately 7 feet tall and 400 pounds. Witnesses describe a figure with yellow eyes, a crowned and caped silhouette with 3 fingers and 3 toes, long beard and hair. Do not approach. You can visit kingcryptid.com for more info. we got the poster there. We get some official trading cards. King Cryptid trading cards. We get the other ones that has his stats on the back. Everything on the back has a little write-up on the back. And then we get black and white cover on there. So, very cool. What else do we got? Get a little King Cryptid poster. I have to say, you get some cool stuff on your back, these things. We got another King Cryptid poster. And then the important part. The books. So, we got King Cryptid signed by Peter Smitty. It has a black and white cover on the back of it. One of the things I love about Alterna Comics, they're like literally like $2, and they're newsprint, which was definitely a dream of mine to get a newsprint comic. They got some great work in there. All right, then we have King Cryptid number 2, also signed by Pete. And we got alternate cover on the back. Then we have, oh, I love this cover. We got number 3 signed, and this is a tribute cover in a lot of ways to some of the classic EC stuff. It would be cool. A story about Loch Ness Monster is cryptid. No. Yes, the Loch Ness Monster is a famous cryptid. That's the idea of this book. It's all about the cryptid monsters of basically modern folklore and mythology. Okay, then we got issue 4. So yeah, when he did it, he did it for the first 4 issues, which I think was awesome, an awesome idea. So we got the 4th issue here, also signed, alternate cover on the back, very cool. And then I got the fun thing for myself to work with, sketch cover, because I want to draw my own King Cryptid. So that is the fun stuff that I got from Mr. Smitty. Should probably see about having him on at some point, talking about Alterna. We're gonna fight with that later, getting these back into the bag. I'm not gonna do that on stream because it just would be annoying and bad. Okay. And the other thing I want to do is talk a little bit about the convention I was at a couple of weeks ago. I was at Little Big Giant Comic Con up in New Hampshire, where I met Jim Starlin, and I got a few books signed. So I have Infinity Gauntlet number 1, signed by Starlin down there. It's one of my favorite covers that he did. It was a Hands of Shang-Chi, the Master of Kung Fu, and Stalin had drawn this. And again, we got a signature right down at the bottom. I love how he didn't really interrupt the art at all with it. He put it right at the bottom, and he even said to me this is one of his favorite covers he ever drew. So I felt pretty cool about that. And then we got an early Thanos appearance, also by Jim Starlin. The Avengers was at 125. Very cool stuff. Let's see. If you played Yu Yu Hakusho on the Super Nintendo, I did. I have not played it on the Super Nintendo. I didn't discover Yu Yu Hakusho until the late 90s. The PlayStation 1 was just out when everybody just called it the PSX. That was the station thing I was using the most back then, and I don't think Yu Yu Hakusho was released in the States. I'll talk about Yu Yu Hakusho soon. The other thing that I did is I met Travis Gibb at Granite State. I got his Granite State book, which was made exclusively for the con, and this is also signed by Kyle Willis, who did the cover. So I think he just did the cover. He might have done the interiors. Nope, just the cover. They were both there. And then I got Coins of Judas, issues 1 and 2, also signed by him. And Tyler Carpenter actually worked on the artwork, the interiors on these books. I know we've talked about Tyler a few times on this channel. Let's see. Then the last thing major thing I bought was from my friend Ian. I bought his Dynamite #1 cover of Red Sonja, his version. So I absolutely love his art, and I love his depiction of Red Sonja, so I grabbed that. It's a fun issue overall. But then I did the deep dive into the dollar bin, and I got some really cool stuff. So everything here is $1, so yes, the conditions on them is garbage, but I don't care. Part of the fun of it is their dollar bins, and they usually can get some good reads. And one of the things I love about dollar bins is you can get usually classic horror comics that are really beat up, like Grimm's Ghost Stories. I haven't read it yet. I haven't read any of these yet, but I'm looking forward to doing so. I also got some old Charlton horror comics with Beyond the Grave. And any place I can get old Charlton without paying an arm and a leg is a good thing. We got some Scary Tales. Then I got some of their military books too. Fighting Marines. And these so smell like old attic just sitting on my lap here. Fighting Army. And I got another, Master of Kung Fu covers coming off on this. This is not one done by Jim Starlin. Not sure who the cover's by. I don't believe it's by the interior artist, Jay Craig. It might be. Kind of looks like his art on the inside. But, grab that. I got King Conan. Cull the Destroyer. So we get the classic Marvel like sword and sorcery books going. Then I got one of my other favorites, some issues of John Carter, Warlord of Mars. I got a few of these. That one, I think that was issue 10. It's 13. These are actually in really good shape. And again, they're only $1, so it works. I love dollar bins. John Carter, Warlord of Mars. What was that, number 14? Let's see. Then we got. I literally cleaned him out of his John Carters. Like I grabbed one of each of the ones he had. 15. I need to go back and see which ones I already have. I probably got a couple of doubles. Number 20. I got 2 more. All right. Okay. Number 25. And the last book is a much more modern comic. It is actually a Raven comic. And since Raven's my favorite character, I usually don't pass up grabbing a book about Raven. So I grabbed that. So that's the con report, along with my purchases, my mail call. So that is good. Let's see, get Creepshow comic. I have the new Creepshow comic. I'm pretty sure I do. All right. Nice t-shirt. Just got that Toy in the Black series. Oh yes, this is my casual Friday t-shirt. And it has my Stormtrooper in uniform. So yes, I absolutely love it. I try to wear it on Fridays whenever it's clean. And it was very appropriate since I totally didn't go see Return of the Jedi today and had to delay my stream by an hour. I mean, I could have gone to see it tomorrow, I guess, but, you know, I liked only having, I think there was a total of like maybe 4 people in the theater, including me. So I was definitely all for that. But anyway, the reason you guys came here, Hiei of Yu Yu Hakusho. So saying earlier, one of the big things to me, I discovered Yu Yu Hakusho in the late 90s. I found the movie, The Poltergeist Report, Yu Yu Hakusho, was how it was released. And it was a dubbed copy, and I don't know where I got it from, but it was a screener copy. So it had, you know, don't give this out. It's a screener copy thing down at the bottom, or, you know, don't rent this or sell this or whatever. So that's what I saw of Yu Yu Hakusho, and the character Hiei, I fell in love with him right away, and I always wanted to get more Yu Yu Hakusho, but I couldn't do it until many years later. Probably in about, I should say many years, but probably like 2 or 3 years later is when I was able to finally track down some. Yep, I have seen Hunter x Hunter, and yeah, it's the same creator, which is something I found really cool. He's also married to the creator of Sailor Moon, I believe. But yeah, so I was super into, I went and got all of the Japanese manga of Yu Yu Hakusho, and then like painfully went through it trying to translate it, because I wasn't taught Japanese. Most of the stuff I know of Japanese, I am self-taught on, and I'm not very good at it to begin with. I can muddle through. I can usually get away with a bit of hiragana. The only thing I had going for me at the time is I had played Final Fantasy VII before it was released over here, and played it all the way through in Japanese. So I did that before, like, I literally had like multiple dictionaries and different like guides of how to read Japanese with me as I was going through that game. So that helped when going through different manga. But yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho I was a huge fan of. I got the entire manga series of it, all in Japanese, and great series. And then I was able to finally track down some fan subs of the series itself, and I got a few tapes of it, but I never finished it because it was just difficult to get. And then it finally came out over here. They were airing it on like Cartoon Network, and that's when I finally sat down and actually got to watch all of it. And I really do enjoy the show, and I'm not usually into tournament arc shows and things like that, which Yu Yu Hakusho probably does the best tournament arc I've ever seen in a series. With the dark tournament, where Hiei gets his Dragon of Darkest Flame ability. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was super fun. I used to have 2 books of Dragon Ball from Viz Media at that time. Didn't know English, so I gave it away. Yeah, well, you know, that's the thing too. See, I never really got into Dragon Ball. Well, I like the original Dragon Ball when there were stupid kids just trying to get all the balls together to make a wish. I thought that was fun. I just never got into the other stuff they did with it. I got Hobbs near me. So yeah, I figure we'll give this a bit more work. I got a few other things I need to do on it. Like I want to finish up his hilt, and get some details on that. Then I gotta get some shading done. And this is actually pencil artwork. It's not even my inks or anything. I might not really go to inks with it, but I've been debating it. So we'll see how that goes. And then I put in all the backgrounds of kind of alluding to the Dragon of Darkest Flame without actually putting it in there. But yeah, so I want to do that. I still need to texture and do things. I did lay down a base tone on it that I'm not sure if I'm going to go with, but I have that in there for like a tone to give him the black look that he has. All right. Let's go in and take a look at some of this. And as usual, I'm using Kyle's brushes. I like Kyle's brushes a lot. I'm using his manga brushes right now. This is just the basic manga brush. And he just makes some incredible stuff. Now, Hiei's sword isn't usually done as an Asian sword, but I don't know, I just find drawing like basically a ninja toe to be fairly simple. So this one, he's got more of an Asian sword. Sword usually, actually more of a scimitar. It's got a funky hilt. Reminds me of a scimitar, not really a katana. It's also got some more decorative pieces on it and things. Let's see. Oh, in case you're interested. Turn that off. That's the base roughing out of the character. And you can probably see how I have my blobby in here. This is my initial silhouette. It doesn't look like this when I first start it. It's much more basic human shaped. But I add to them to kind of give my stuff, and then I create the rough drawing, and I literally draw into the silhouette to figure out where all my foreshortening is and everything else. And then that led me to add a line art and some blacks. And I put the sword scabbard on the wrong layer, so it's black there. But hey, who cares? All right. So let's kind of go back in here and do some work. Also, usually when I do my blobbies, they're usually in a different color initially, like a red or something. Or I lay them out in a black, and I turn them red. And then once I kind of get the finished thing going, I turn them white. Let's see. Page on the internet called Figurosity, where you can get lots of images. Some are superhero poses from real people. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's one of the fun things about doing my silhouettes is I literally blob out the character, and then I design it based on that. And I draw into the silhouette, and it does a lot of my foreshortening and everything for me. Kind of getting these a bit scratchy, just kind of lay down a base idea of what I want, and I'll finish them. Yeah, that's basically how I kind of taught myself foreshortening, was by using the silhouettes and like blobbing things out and figuring out how to make it so it was like in your face to do things. But yeah, no, I'm all for the tools. I mean, Clip Studio also comes with features like you could use like 3D models to and then pose them and things. So I'm not liking how that's looking. So there's lots of different choices you can do to try to get some base figures down. I said I use a method that was taught to me by my friend Rob Dunas of Sketchcraft. He does the same thing where he does the blobbies and then builds it from there. You get like the silhouettes. And then I do the roughy sketch into it, and then I kind of start to pencil over it. And something else that he does with his that I sometimes do is any type of piece of clothing or weapon or anything else that a person might be having, he blobs out in a different color. I do that for certain things if it's kind of complicated. Like the sword, I didn't bother because it's just basically a straight line. And I mean, I could have done the scarf. His hair's a little weird, so I could have done something with that too. But I didn't. Also, being this zoomed in lets me fix a few things. Stuff that you probably never would notice, but I do. Do I know when Finch will be releasing the new comic that he's doing? No. I know he is in the crunch time working on it. I was talking with him the other day. So I know he's still actively working on it. I don't even know what it is. So, I mean, there's certain things that I could talk about that I do know, like, stuff, but Finch's comic, I don't have any idea what it is. So, what he's doing. I just know that he's still working on it, and I would expect to start to hear things probably around in July. That's my thought process because, well, he's going to be on the show in July, so I'll definitely be having him on again in July. I want to get Meredith on too. I'd love to work with Meredith. Have her write a book and me illustrate it. I'd love to do that. I mean, I definitely know she can write very powerful female characters, being one of the best writers of Wonder Woman. And I will make the hilt look. What's it? No, the sai is the scabbard. I forget the Japanese name for hilt. Is that the? No, that's the type of blade. I'll remember it eventually. I should know this. My sensei would beat me over the head. Super. No, I think that's the guard. I don't remember. What Finch comic do you recommend me? I just got Unwrapped Batman. Personally, one of my personal favorite comics that Dave did was called Aphrodite 9. It is an old Top Cow book from, I believe, the 90s. It might be early 2000s, but pretty sure it's the 90s. And I found it super fun. It's a book I love. I think it's a great book that he did. I highly recommend it. If I'm going to go more modern, I mean, his Dark Knight run was great with the New 52, beautiful art. But I mean, I would just go with his Avengers arc. That was super fun. Actually, I'd do his Moon Knight if I wanted like more of a mainstream book. I think I'd do his Moon Knight. I like better than the Avengers arc, so I would say do the Moon Knight. But my favorite book that he did was Aphrodite 9. And I'm also a big fan of Ascension, which was his creator-owned property, his first creator-owned property. Back in the Top Cow days. But yeah, I would say go between Moon Knight and Aphrodite 9. No problem. Okay, so I'm going to back that out. Let's take a peek. Okay, change that up a little bit. So now that I have kind of the roughy in of base idea of the wrappings around the hilt, I want to detail these up. As I caffeinate, which I shouldn't be doing, but I desperately need caffeine today. Today was a long day already. Movies take a lot out of me. Okay. You can see where I have my blobby underneath here. I have my white silhouette still, so I erase this out. It's too hot here. Global warming seems rainforest. Yeah, global warming kind of sucks, but what are we gonna do? We need to have major changes, but don't really want to talk about that stuff on stream. I'll talk comic books, but I don't really want to talk that. And not because it's just divisive or anything, I just don't want to talk about it. So, but I feel you if it's super hot. Heat and myself do not get along. That's why I already have my air conditioner in. A bunch of my friends went to Wicked Comic Con this past weekend. That was up in Boston. And they had a good time up there. I wish I could have gone to that one, but I had some stuff I had to do. I was thinking about actually setting up at Wicked, but it just didn't work out. And yes, I'm going to be doing this with the other side too, so it looks a bit more even and things. So. And I'll also be fixing the silhouette a little bit to get it. So, because I want something that I do also with when I do my color work and flats and all that, I link everything to the silhouette underneath it so it does the fills good when I fill in the color flats. So I will be fixing things up. So I want the silhouette to be good. I don't think my friend Rob uses the silhouette basically beyond the initial phase. Somebody's knocking on somebody's door. Hope it's not the Pinkertons. Now, if anybody heard that the makers of Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast, I should say the owners of Dungeons and Dragons, they do currently they made the past 3 editions now. And they created Magic the Gathering. they sent the Pinkertons to somebody's house the other day to recover magic cards that basically one of their distributors accidentally mailed the guy. Pinkertons. It's a little bit of overstepping, I think. I mean, really? The Pinkertons? You couldn't, like, just, I don't know, send a letter? You obviously had the guy's address. But no, let's send, quite literally, thugs to guy's house. Definitely say that it's turned me a little bit off on anything new D&D wise. Probably gonna finish up 5th edition with whatever they release and not doing anything else. I like 5th edition anyway, so. Oh yeah, I can also show actually some of the new stuff I'm doing for my Patreon. I've added some new tiers on my Patreon where I've added some sketch card stuff and added a tier where I'll run D&D for you. You need 6 players for that one though. And I also added in a place where I will do your OC's backstory, comic of it, 1 page. That's the $100 tier. And I will illustrate your comic backstory for you. I'll show you the example that I did. For a game I played this past week, where I played with the YouTuber Tulok the Barbarian, which I'll give a shout out to him. He does a channel called basically a how to play channel. And what I mean by how to play, it's he develops, he'll make like, say, Batman as a D&D character, and he goes over the stats he used and the classes and everything he used to make it. It's a cool channel. And he's also got an Elden Ring channel with his buddy Mango. Weird name. Who am I talking? I call myself the Alikat. At least I'm not naming myself after a fruit, I guess. I want to make a one-shot. I got the heroine, just like the villain. Got to develop the plot, just like other characters. Yep, you do. Plot is very important, especially in a one-shot. I mean, there's certain things you don't have to worry about when doing one-shots, but your plot does need to be solid. Your characters should be interesting. You don't have to know everything about them. But the more you know, the better. You just don't want it to overwhelm because it is a one-shot. Let's see. So, the other thing I've been doing lately is I've taken a course at the Kubert School, one of their online courses, and it was very good. I recommend it, especially if you want a good, solid fundamentals. I tried their fundamental course of how to draw, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was solid. It's in the background. Okay. So, where was I? Oh, yes, I had done a course at the Kubert School, and it was very good. So I figured, I'll try my hand at another one. And I'm trying their narrative art version one. And I got to say, this has been amazing. Emmerich Hubert has been an amazing teacher, to say the least. I still have to do my homework for that. I have to draw a breakup scene between two people in a restaurant. I'll actually show some of my homework in a little bit. Things I've done for it. Some of it I did fairly fast. Some of it I, took more time with. I already got an idea for what I want to do for the breakup scene in the restaurant, so I think that'll be fun. I'm keeping a Star Wars theme to some of my stuff because my last piece of homework I did a Star Wars scene, so I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna have a Wookiee breakup with the Sith Lord, I think, because I think that'd be funny. And I got this funny idea for a Wookiee wearing a tie, so I think that'd be fun. Speaking of Star Wars, next week we have Star Wars Day of May the 4th. I will be streaming on May the 4th. I think around 3 p.m. on Thursday Eastern Time, my usual time. And I'll also be streaming on Friday for Revenge of the 5th. So get me for 2 days next week. And I'll be working on Star Wars stuff for those. Manga Star Wars stuff. I may actually show off some of the old manga Star Wars things that came out years ago. Like the original trilogy that was released in manga, and episode 1. They didn't do any of the others. So I don't think they did. But yeah, I am a huge Star Wars fan. It doesn't really matter what it is. If it's Star Wars, I like it. That includes the prequels and the sequels. I have some issues with the sequel films, and I have issues with the prequel films. They're not the originals. And I mean, the originals aren't the originals anymore. I mean, they're not the movies I grew up with. Which is fine. I still have my Laserdisc versions of all the originals, and I still have a working Laserdisc player. I actually have 2 working Laserdisc players, in case one breaks. I also ripped the Laserdiscs and up-converted the films to 1080p years ago. So I have backups of it all, too. Jar Jar Binks to the plans for cool short stories? I guess so. I mean, it's not a character I want to explore. I actually don't really have an issue with Jar Jar Binks. I like the actor Ahmad Best a lot. I think he got a lot of crap for literally nothing. And I like what they did with him in The Mandalorian. So they made his Jedi character on the YouTube channel legit and canon, and I really like that. And he saved Grogu. Spoilers, I don't care. I don't know if people know this, but there's a feature in Clip Studio that you can do where if you're using your brush, you can turn it into an eraser. If you want to do like some fine detail removing with the brush, which I was just doing. It's over on the the brush section where you have like your two colors you can pick. Below that, there's just a checkerboard one, and it's a transparency, so you can just go through and knock it out with that. It does the brush shape for that. It's actually a lot more tedious than what I expected initially. Let's go down to my whites. Okay. That to be thicker. Goes out a bit. One of the things I have to keep in mind is when I'm backed out on this, how much of it would you actually see? Because I zoom in pretty close when I want to do my detail work, but not all of it carries over. Anybody have any plans for the weekends? Do anything fun? So we leave April. I'm sorry, leave the month of April. Yeah, I can. I know what time it is, time of year it is. Let's see. This is actually a big gaming weekend for me. I actually game later tonight. I game tomorrow night. And I run a game on Sundays. And I game on Sunday night. Actually finishing up a D&D game on Sunday night. It should be fun. At some point, I need to do my homework, work on Prototype 0, and some other things. And I do have my submission in for Saturday AM, so fingers crossed. I actually went with something different than I thought I was going to go with for Saturday AM. I'm actually doing a swashbuckling comic, if they go for it. It's called Entipore, and it's set in a kind of a city kind of like Morocco. And it will deal a lot with the Parisian phase and the Calamite phase. And it's basically a variation of like Christianity and the Muslim faith. The fantasy version, so they're not real world. I'm going to color some manga pages direct on the paper. My plan for the weekend, or maybe just do a drawing. Always works. I'm always up for art. When I play D&D in a game, I always draw during it. Usually sketching scenes from the game or other stuff. This weekend I'll probably be working on my homework, but hey. Got to do 2 pages. Give that a save. Okay, let's back out on that. Okay, it's looking more like what I wanted. I'll probably noodle with it for a bit, but now I have some decisions to make. All right. So that's the flat base that I would use for doing coloring, is I make a gray flat on top of the white that has everything, and then I have my flats. And I actually have I have a folder where my flats literally connect directly to this piece, so I can keep everything there. And for backgrounds, I'll just tie it to the background image and stuff, because the background's on its own layer. Technically, I have everything on its own folder too. So some background and foreground elements are all like that's a layer. The different scratches are all layers. And then I have this piece as a layer. And I already was kind of playing with some color for the blast, and that was kind of a thought that I was thinking for the blast. And this is a gradient overlay onto it that just gives me kind of a baseline color, and it's set to overlay. So it basically just takes all the shading. It's a gradient map that's spread over it. From here, like if I want to go in, I can lasso all the rocks and stuff like that are flying around. I can give them a different color, and I can make like the streams of energy all different colors too, of like where things are shooting up, and basically there are trails and stuff as they're shooting up from the ground. So I have choices and things I can do, and I like to work with gradient maps in general. Just easier. I have that off right now. I said, and I also have the tone work on this, which is best way I can call it is a dress that he wears. It's like a long tunic, but it's a dress. Let's just say it's a dress. And he's got his white scarf. It's like a monk's robe kind of thing that he wears. I mean, he wears a few different things, but one of his famous ones is like this black one-piece dress that he wears over some pants. So instead of like coloring it all in black, because I mean I could just fill the entire thing black if I wanted to. I figured if I laid down a dark tone, I still get the lines, so it looks interesting. And you get the moire patterns on that, but if I zoom it in, you kind of start to lose them. I think if I back it up enough, you'll lose it too. Yeah, you can kind of see there, but the joys of working on a screen. Like when I'm looking at it, I don't see the moire patterns that you're seeing as I broadcast it. So that's always kind of cool. But yeah, so I'm still kind of deciding what I want to do with that. I do know that I want to do some tone work in general on them, so that will be happening. And we are going to set some of that up. I want to do this. And let's do it above the lines. Okay. Let's turn that off. Okay. All right. It's a bit too big. It's a detail one. So what I'm doing here is I'm laying down some watercolor effects. And one of the things I like about using the watercolor brushes is if I convert it to tone, it gives me kind of a natural gradient. Which arc of Yu Yu Hakusho do you prefer, the tournament or the next one? I really like the Dark Tournament. I think that's one of my favorite ones. The other thing, I really like that movie that I saw of it because it's kind of my first exposure to Yu Yu Hakusho, and I really do enjoy that arc in general. I think it's a really fun arc. It's a really fun movie. Yeah, under the lines. Whoa! Hang on. Got a mild problem here. It's called a Hobbs. What the hell did you do? Oh, that's what you do. Okay. Okay. Oops. Okay. Bear with me for a second, guys. Cat. Yep, Hobbs stepped on things and changed my workspace around. I swear, he's lucky he's cute. It's one of the only reasons he's not dead. Yeah, I actually rewatched that anime the other day. I just had a feeling. I mean, it's cheesy, it's fun, but I enjoy it. That's all that really matters. My kitty name is Watcha. Yeah, that's cute. I have Hobbs and Rocket. Rocket is currently sleeping in bed. Okay, I want to go a little bit bigger. Let's try some color magic. how the hell I did that. I know how I did that. Somebody's rubbing his face into my keyboard again and hitting keyboard commands he shouldn't be. Okay. Yeah, I don't really want a strong feeling on these. I just want it to kind of have I want the feeling to be there, that there's some texture, but I don't want it to overwhelm it. Yes, screen tones are expensive everywhere, so that is definitely a thing. I mean, the only reason I can get away with them using them here is because, well, I'm doing it on a damn it, that was a mistake. I'm doing it on computer, so I can definitely understand that. But yeah, screen tones are stupid expensive. I wish I had the money to buy all the screen tones I want, but I don't. Again, I just kind of want to give it the feeling that there's a tone here. I don't need it to be crazy. Let's see. It's a little bit past 5. Gonna do my book of the week. Allison's pull list. Do that in a minute. Yeah, that kind of gives the effect I wanted. All right. That's a good question. Did I get that back? I didn't. That's good to know. Alright, first let's fix this stuff up a little bit. Oops. Oh, I know why. Still not the right one. I think it was this one. Yep, that was it. Oh, hey, Jim. How's it going? Hope you're doing good. Back to tones. That. Yep, okay, that's the right one. All right. Let's give this a save. And let's see. We're going to do the pull list. What are you reading this week? Okay, so for the pull list this week, we're going kind of old school. I'm doing a lot of manga lately, so I'm going to do some more manga. But we're going to go Comico manga with Macross. This is an adaptation of the Macross movie. I think it was aired over here as Robotech. Yeah, the Robotech movie, and they called it Macross or something, but Macross is Robotech, so same thing. I actually had to dig into my collection to get this. I actually have like all of my Robotech comics sitting next to me right now. So, but yes, this is the old company Comico, and they had the rights to Robotech and all the different variations of it from Harmony Gold. A good shot of the cover there, the background cover, cat scratching things. Okay, check out some of the art on the inside. Got some cool stuff going. We have everybody trying to fight. Unless it's the Invid. I can't remember. It's been a long time. Some more cool art. But yeah, this is an early manga adaptation of stuff. And get Rick Hunter with the Veritech. I forget what his name is in the Japanese version. Zentari. That's what they're. It's the Zentreds. That's who they're fighting. It's been a while. I think the Invid was the different one. Yeah, Zentrades. Kind of have a Leiji Matsumoto feel in those. It looks, some of their ships look a little bit like the Gamelon battleships from Yamato, but hey, all good. I mean, the uniforms also have the Yamato look to them, and I think that is kind of how Japanese military looked. So it's all good. But yeah, it's Macross. It's a fun book. It's definitely old school. This goes back to the early 1980s, I believe. Look, but Comico, unfortunately, is gone. They haven't existed for quite a while. But that is the book of the week for my poll list. So some very cool stuff. Back to Hiei. Okay. I'm going to pop that tone in. Something there. Right then. I think he's coming along pretty good. Something else I could do, because he wears black pants, so that's my simple fix for that. Is give a tone of a different color down there to pop it, to make it different, and kind of go from there. Now I want to think about, do I want to color it? Do you know one thing that I don't really like that I did? I want to make an adjustment. I think these are too dark. I think what I want to do is this. Go in here. Do with a lighter tone. The only thing about working with a tablet that can be annoying is when I accidentally color pick. I don't mean to. I keep telling myself that one of these days I'm going to turn off the color picker function of the on the stylus, but I never do. So it's going to be that one time that I'm going to want to use it. White. Go clean that up a bit. Yeah, it looks a bit better. I can actually kind of determine what's there a bit better. Oh. But yeah, fun stuff. How's your Hellboy statue coming, Jim? I'm sure it's going to look awesome when done. Okay, I even used a different one for that too, so let's back that out. So yeah, we have different screen tone colors in different areas. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Back that out a bit. Okay, so that's it. Let's see. This is actually a piece of the schoolwork that I did recently. So I did it kind of quick, but it's supposed to be a space cantina. So I did a Star Wars scene. It was one of the choices that we had to have a motorcycle bar thing. So I did the Mos Eisley spaceport, and I quickly roughed this out to kind of get an idea of the storytelling and go from there. We just kind of go through, and we have the mysterious person in the corner, which is Rey in this case, because I want to draw Rey. And this piece here is okay, this is finished. This is my one-page character stories I was talking about for my Patreon. This is something that I did for the game that I played on Tuesday with the YouTuber Tulok the Barbarian. The basic thing about it was that all the characters were effectively prisoners. So I made my character the creepy little girl. And it's stereotyped that I like. So this was the one-page thing that kind of gives all the information you need to know of who the character is going into it. Sent it to the game master, and he was just like, oh, that works. But yes, I'm using a girl in her shadow idea. It's a little bit different from my comic version of her, but I like the logo and stuff. And I have the creepy shadow monster in the background. You kind of see the eyes going down. So this was fun to do. So I'll be doing these on my Patreon for $100. I will do a manga page of your OC character, one page backstory. And kind of go from there. So that's the stuff that I've been doing. I think on that note, I'm going to be calling it a day. I got a few other things I got to do, and I really need to eat something that's not yogurt because I need something solid. So I'm going to say goodbye for the day. I'll play a few things to on my way out. So feel free, like, subscribe, do all that other fun stuff, comment. Check out my Patreon. Said I got some new stuff up on there for people to do, and you also get access to You also get access to that. So super cool there. And on that note, I will be streaming 2 days. Again, I'll be doing Thursday, May the 4th for Star Wars Day, and my usual Friday, so I can do Revenge of the 5th. It's also El Cinco de Mayo, so that generally means tacos. But anyway, so I will talk with you all later. Everybody have a great weekend. Good night. Solid. Fun. Don't do anything stupid. If you do, don't get arrested. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Bye, everyone.